that's what is yours. And you, Cuba, hey, yeah, you everything that's what is yours. Canada, you everything that's what is yours. And you, Britain, hey, yeah, you everything that's what is yours. April thinking so, my friend, better keep your mind. April thinking so, my friend, better keep your mind. Because there's not a one escape code. One keeps
All right, what's up, you guys? It's Sam Red. I Got Knives here with another episode, another DRIGK live, and yeah, this time we got Machinewise here, uploading all these things to my YouTube channel, so you can find them there. I'll let you know probably at the end of this one, what's coming up next week. I'm trying to put a schedule to things a little bit more. But anyways, yeah, so exciting getting Machinewise to do this interview. Deylan, let's see if he's around. Let's see, where is he? Is he hanging out yet? Not yet. I don't think. Let's see if he pops in here, or if he decides to leave me hanging here on the live. So yeah, tomorrow is the drop. I just took a shower, so my face is a little red here, but tomorrow is the drop at the Serifs at Shop Soet. I wish I had a lot more of them to share and to sell to you guys, but it's limited. So yeah, I kept a teal one for myself. You knew I was going to keep one. There's no way I wasn't going to get one of these. So you guys can hate me as much as you want, but I got one. No, I had signed up for it long before and all that stuff, so there's a whole thing around it. Yeah, here's the Sliff Tea and my Marin. I see Deylan's on there. All right, let's get him in here. All right. There he is.
Yo.
What's up, dude? How you
Not
doing?
much. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good, good.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Cool, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, we got some people on here watching. It's cool. We got a nice little group of people that are starting to roll in here and watch what's going on.
Yeah.
I got my lineup here of your products that I love so much.
Nice.
Yeah. So where do you live?
Me? I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. I have some good friends out that way as well.
Nice. Yep.
Is that where you were born?
I was born in Mesa, but I've moved all over the country.
Okay.
Yeah, I've moved 45 times or something like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just ended back up in Arizona.
Yeah. When I wanted to start Machinewise, I was in California, and it's cheaper to have a house with a garage out here, so I came out here.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
27.
27. Man, It's like you and Lucas, like so young. It's
I mean,
being so
Lucas is
successful, man. It's great, you know. Especially Lucas.
Lucas is so far ahead of, like, he's so far ahead for where he's at.
for anyone. That guy is, he's
Well,
like,
yeah, seriously.
he's just like a little walking brain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's a brain with legs.
Yeah.
That flips.
Yes, quite well.
So 27, cool. Yeah. What was your first knife? Do you remember your first knife as a child, whether it was a Balisong or a pocket knife, or the first time that like you can
Okay,
remember?
so yeah, my first knife was probably it was a what are they called? They don't lock, they kind of flip open. I forget what they're called, but it was just a little carving knife my dad gave me when I was probably
Oh,
six
you
or
mean
seven.
like a slip joint where you
Slip joint?
nailed?
Thank you. Yeah, it was a slip joint. Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
And
And then I
then
mean,
oh, go ahead.
no, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, and then when did you get into Balisong?
I got into Balisongs after starting Machinewise. I had no idea they existed. I didn't know how to flip. I had a mill in my garage and I wanted to do something. And my roommate was unpacking at the time. We just moved out here. And he pulled out a crappy Bear and Sons cast pot metal handle, crappy chisel grind blade. And
Dude,
I thought it was cool.
That is why I ask these questions.
Yeah. Yep.
That is such a great.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people do. I had no idea that you started
Yeah.
Machinewise
Yeah.
and then got into Balisongs.
Yeah, so I mean, I was basically bored, didn't know what I was going to do yet because I didn't have a job and I had a machine in my garage. So I decided to just make a Bally, and then I started realizing there's a whole community around it. It's a whole industry. Then I realized that there was actually potential here. That's also why my first two designs were not good.
Interesting. What was
Yeah.
your first design on a Bali?
I have most of my early prototypes. I'm not proud of them because they're not good, but I'll show them.
No, but they're part of the history. I love that about knives. That's how I got into knives,
Yep.
was the history of knives. I was really
Yep.
into collecting pocket knives, and I kind of inadvertently as well fell into Balisongs and
Yeah.
and realized there was a whole community. I learned a couple tricks, and I was like,
Yep.
started having so much fun with it. It's
Yeah.
turned into this whole
Oh, I love it.
thing
Absolutely.
I'm
Yep.
doing now.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's my livelihood and it's my passion now. So this was the very first Bally I ever made, just
that's
as a
horrendous.
learning experience. It's bad. I mean, look at that.
Oh my
Look at
god!
that blade. Look how thick it is. It's completely, utterly blade biased. It won't even fan. Oh yeah,
my
check it
God.
out. Completely blade biased.
Oh my gosh! And did
And
you
then
have like
from
no
there,
idea about like the weights and balance and kind of?
No,
You were
of
just like,
course
oh, you
not,
put
yeah.
3 pieces of metal
Yep.
together. And...
yeah, I mean, I knew how they were constructed, kind of. Like, this was actually, funny enough, my first one. This is on bushings, technically. And then I went to bearings for a while. Then now I'm obviously back to bushings. But, I learned how to do tricks on all of the knives that I made because I didn't have any, and I was too poor to afford any, so.
And so you had a mill already. So I'm trying to understand this. So you had
Yeah, so I did what every entrepreneur says you should never do, and I quit a very good job with no plan other than start a shop. I had $10,000 in my savings, and I moved a state away and bought a Tormach machine and threw it in my garage with no plan.
And did you know already how to work on them at all, or were you like learning
On
as you-
Bally's or as a machinist?
on the machine?
Yeah, so it's the only job I've ever had. Ever since I was 15, I've been in a machine shop.
Okay.
So I've been a machinist, manual machinist, CNC machinist for going on almost 13 years now.
And what were you making before when you were working for somebody else?
I was working for job shops mostly. That just means that they would take on anything, anyone who needed parts, they would make them. Typically government stuff, a lot of aerospace, a lot of medical.
And when
the
you
job before
started-
this one,
And when you started Machinewise, was the intent knives at all, or just anything?
the intent was to just have a machine in my garage and then try to make money with it.
That's so awesome.
Ever since I was probably 16 or 17, the only thing I ever wanted to do was have my own shop. I was
And now
tired of
you're
making
like
money
the-
for other people.
And now, how's it feel to be like the cool knife maker?
It's weird, and it's not real yet, I guess. I don't really know.
No, because people dig what you're doing, man, and
Oh yeah,
there
it's
is,
crazy, and the support is insane, and I love it. But yeah, I guess it's not. That doesn't really truly feel real yet. I still feel like
right.
just someone who's learning and tinkering and just making stuff that he wants to make.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, with every Balisong maker and flipper, there's what I
Hmm.
loved about it is there's so much personality. People making
Yep.
videos, even
Yep.
as a knife maker, there's so much personality put into the knives, and
Oh yeah.
the community is so full of characters.
Hmm.
I'm one as well. I've always kind of like
Yep.
had a silly side to myself, and this kind of I continually prove it on every one of these live interviews. But
Yep. Yep. I love you, Andy.
um, so that's cool, man. That's awesome. I had no idea, and I really think that's interesting that you took something and then you learned how to flip. You had to learn had to know how to
Yeah,
use what
I
you
knew
were
nothing.
building.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. So I mean, for the first, even the Marin, like I'm still not a good flipper. I'm like a decent beginner at best, probably. So I mean, I had to really take feedback seriously.
So what did?
The Marin was
Yeah,
completely
right. So
derived off of feedback.
that makes sense. You have to listen to what the
Yep.
community is telling you to fix and
Yep.
to
Yeah.
adjust.
Exactly. Yep.
And how long ago was that you started
I
Machinewise?
started. I started Machinewise in June of basically 2 years ago now. So June 2020. Yeah, June 2020.
So right at the beginning of the pandemic,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah. It was just after California did all their quarantining, basically. It was
right,
like I think a month and a half after that 6 week period of shelter in place was done.
crazy. So as
Yeah, because I
long
had just gone back to my job basically, and then I quit in the middle of a pandemic.
kind of as long as I've been doing my YouTube channel because the
Oh,
pandemic
nice.
happened and I started my YouTube channel. I was like
Okay,
at
nice. Yep.
home. I was like, let's make a funny knife review.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's going great for you. It looks like I enjoy your
Yeah,
content.
yeah, yeah. I have a lot of fun, and I didn't expect to keep going. I just did a few as a joke, and
Yep.
you know, I keep now it's like just I keep going because it's fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
same here.
and that's the same reason I introduced knives into my shop and everything, just because it was fun and
Yeah.
I wanted to sell them and make sense of it, you know, not
Right.
because,
Yeah.
you know, obviously we have a shop, a record, and we are a business, but the products we bring in are things we get into and we like, we
Yep.
enjoy. My wife brings in clothing
Oh
and blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. Um, anyways, okay. So when going back to when you first started building and learning CNC stuff, not necessarily knives, but did you go to school for it? Did you have somebody who helped you? Is it in your family?
So I didn't do school. I tried. I was never a school person. Uh, I did at one point try to go to a technical college to try to get a certificate in machining. I had already been a machinist for several years at that point, and I dropped out after a week. But I got lucky and I got an internship at a large medical company in Rancho Santa Margarita, California, so Southern
Okay.
California. Um, and they had a machine shop there, which is where I started, and they taught me how to do manual machining. So I basically interned or apprenticed under an extremely skilled tool and die maker for about 3 years there.
And being more successful and having your own business now, do you find it more enjoyable to do the work? Because when you work for somebody else, it can be grueling. You're making something you don't care about. But then
Yeah,
sometimes there's the opposite effect where you're making something you care so much about that it eats up every inch of your free time. And
yeah.
sometimes you just like when
So
you're working for somebody else, you can clock out, go home, not give a crap, have a beer.
right, I've hated every job I had solely because I worked for someone. It's not for me. I didn't realize just how much it wasn't for me until starting Machinewise and having my business. But yeah, every moment of work I love. It's stressful, but I absolutely love it.
Right now, there's a lot of stress. I think some people, it's great we're doing this interview because I think some people like look at your, and we spoke about this a bit about your drops and about people
Yep.
like, you know, people don't realize that I didn't realize I'm learning a lot here. I was saving a lot of my questions for you for this interview
Yep.
because I didn't realize you started in 2020.
Yeah.
All these things I didn't know, and people like get so down on you about your drops, about your website, about your how many you're
Yeah.
producing. It's like and
Right.
that's why in my first post I put, you know, if you can plant another tree to make the knives grow
Yeah.
on it. It's like you put a lot of hours into making these, and
Oh yeah, totally. Yep.
you know, I think people don't realize that. I think people just like them so much they want them, so it's a huge compliment to you.
Yep.
But we can't expect miracles out of this man, you guys.
I can try, and I'm still trying. I mean, I'm always shooting for more production. I mean, as it is right now, though, I have all my equipment basically pegged out as fast as they'll go, and for as long as I can keep them running.
Yeah, you were telling me you keep it going for 23 hours a day and like 6 days a week.
Yeah, so my main production mill runs for a minimum spindle time in the cut 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, usually 6 days a week, though.
Crazy. And then on top of that, you deal with all the website stuff, the promotion.
Yep. I'm lucky. I have my father's a very skilled web developer, and so he's the one that is like adminning my site technically. So all I have to do on the site side is just do the product stuff, which has been an awesome help.
Right. That's great. Yeah. And then, people were wondering, people are commenting, why is Shop Soet doing a drop? And I kind of tried to explain to people, but I'll go into that a little bit here, and you can chime in anytime you want, so we can address these little things. It's like, Deylan's, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've never done a drop with a shop or with anybody. So
correct. Yep.
Thank you for letting Soet be the first to do that.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course, man. We take a lot of pride and want to work with things we like and love.
Yep.
But with that being said, it's, we had a conversation at Blade Show West. We got to meet each other, got to know each other then, and we've kind of kept in touch. And so I think the idea was there for you to, I extended like, hey, if you ever want to sell at our shop, we would love it. And then Blade Show Atlanta's coming up, and there was the idea of sharing a table and sharing a booth, but I can only do a table under my shop name. You can't share, two makers can't share a table.
Which is weird.
We decided to make it all Shop Soet table at Blade Show Atlanta. And I'm selling Cerrone and I'm selling Machinewise. And so that's how this all came about. Then we thought, let's throw the first drop with Shop Soet before Blade Show Atlanta, and then we'll do Atlanta. And then pretty much that's going to be it, because,
probably,
I don't make people sign a contract. I'm only here to make a good time and sell stuff. And if Deylan ever wants to come back and sell more, then we're going to be here with arms open, and otherwise all is fine with us with that. So, but we totally understand that you as a young maker, a new business, need to keep every bit of that income for yourself as much as possible.
Yeah.
So these 10 on the drop that are happening tomorrow are super limited and super special situation here going on. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to work with you.
Awesome. So that's the story, you guys, with that. How many knives do you make a week or a day on average?
Yeah, so with serifs, which is all I'm doing right now, I'm getting 3 finished serifs per business day. So it's 15 a week. It's actually a little bit more than I can assemble myself, which is why I usually go between 10 and 12 a week right now.
And do you have anybody helping you at the shop right now?
Not now. As of Monday, I will though. I have my first full-time new hire coming on Monday.
Sweet.
Which is very exciting.
And what is your shop setup like? It's at your house in the garage?
Nope, not anymore. I was in that garage for about a year, and then I came to this shop here. It's I think 900 square foot, give or take. Has a small front office, and then it has about 700 square foot of actual shop space.
Awesome. That must feel good to like kind of have your own shop.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really nice. Gets it out of the garage. I don't have metal shavings all over my bed anymore because it would track it in on my clothes. That's nice.
And is it like in an industrial park kind of area?
It is. Yep. Yeah, it's just an industrial area. Yep. A whole bunch of suites lined up together.
Nice. Um, and your shop setup is kind of what consists in your shop nowadays? Like, have you bought any new equipment lately? What pieces of equipment are essential to what you're doing?
Yeah. Most of it, definitely most of it is essential. Some of my latest equipment has been tumblers, which is how I get that finish on the blades, that kind of speckled, sparkly looking finish. It's all the handles get tumbled now as well, which just kind of rounds over corners, makes it all even and smooth and feel good in the hand.
Do you do everything at Machinewise, every last bit?
As in me personally?
No,
Okay. So I'm a big believer in insourcing. If we can do it, we will. The only thing that we don't do in house right now is we don't make bushings, pivots, or screws.
Okay. Make the handle.
Everything else is done in house, and the second that I get a lathe, all the hardware will also be done in house. It's just a matter of getting that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite piece of equipment that you like, the moment, the process, that is there a certain element that you enjoy more to making knives? Is it the designing, or is it like when you're sharpening the blade and it's almost done?
It's definitely machining. Machining is by far my favorite thing. Everything else I'm not a huge fan of personally. All the finishing, all the assembly, the sharpening, it's all necessary. And we still take a lot of pride in doing that. But the machining is by far the thing I care about the most and enjoy the most.
And you probably had to learn, because you already knew machining, but all the other elements,
correct,
you had to suddenly have to learn those as well, right?
Oh yeah, I was not a knife guy before this. I knew nothing about blades. I knew nothing about heat treat, sharpening, all that I had never done before. So there was a massive learning curve in especially heat treat and sharpening.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about, do you have a collection now of Balisongs or knives? Or
they are primarily all mine because I can't afford to buy these knives.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yep. I have an NRB Koenig. He was I did manage to get one of those. I think that's my only non-Machinewise knife right now. And then this monstrosity, which is petrol handles on a Nemesis light blade.
Okay.
This was kind of, I think it was a bit of a meme at the last Blade show, Blade East. They started getting called the Pemesis because it's two things that should never been put together. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Will you be making slip tee and Marins again? I know people want to know this.
Yeah, so slip tees 100% absolutely will come back at some point. Marins, I'm like 95% sure they will. It's just a matter of getting more equipment to keep them running. Again, my main production mill is tied up for almost 100% of the hours every week.
So going backwards a little here, you did that first knife you showed us, and then what happened?
Mm-hmm. That one I never sold. I never made more of it. It was just a learning experience. But it taught me a lot, and that's how the Delta 4 came into being, which also is not good. And these were only around for a few months. I sold maybe 20, 25 of them before I moved on to another design. It had a really bad pivot system and all kinds of other things that were just horrifically wrong with it.
And then what?
After that was the 50, which was also not a great design. It was okay. It was very different. It was too thick. But that one lived for a fair bit of time. A decent amount of those were made and sold. And then from there, it was the Marin.
And
And
that's
then
when
from the
people
Marin,
really like took notice.
yeah,
of
and the
it.
Marin is when I finally had something that was relatively good.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. It's so interesting to know. Um, um, what is your favorite knife that you make?
My favorite is absolutely the Seraph, without question.
All right.
Tenfold the Seraph. Yep.
Have you ever held another maker's knife where you've been like, oh man, this is like if you, because you've been to Blade Show and stuff, seen
Yep.
probably a fair amount now of
Yeah,
Balisongs.
I've definitely been lucky in handling many other makers' knives now. While I don't have a collection personally, I've definitely been lucky enough to flip quite a few other very nice knives from other makers.
Is there
Um,
something that you've tried that stood out that you maybe took note of for your own, not necessarily to take
right.
into your own design, but to appreciate them as a
Yep.
maker that taught you something maybe
Yeah, so I
just
was
by
extremely
holding their
lucky.
knives?
Yeah, I was really lucky pretty early on to get to flip a solid scale EX10 that was perfectly tuned. Um, that might still be my favorite knife to this day.
Nice.
It
Yeah.
was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He does a great
everything about
job.
it, the sound, the feel, the machining, everything on it was really on point. So,
Agreed. Um, all right. What is your favorite trick that you know? Is there a trick that is your like, this is what I always do. I'm really comfortable with it.
I mean, yeah, the
You
thing
don't,
I always do is I do a lot of fans. So I'd probably say I think I've seen people call it like just a infinite fan loop or something, but just this I do this all the time without even thinking. Just fans after fans. It's a really
and you
simple
don't
thing,
have to
but
do it just to save that you're cutting yourself, but is there a trick you see done that you're working on that you're like, I want to learn that? Do you have like a next
yeah.
trick
So
you're
there's one that I actually ring a shamed my finger on 3 times in one day that I won't try. But there is one that I've gotten decent at that I also really enjoy. Um, I don't know.
you don't have to
Let's
do
see.
it, no pressure.
Oh no, it's fine. There it is.
Oh nice.
It's just a weird a weird chaplain catch, I guess. I don't know the names of like any tricks
I don't
because
know
I'm
if you
all
saw my
self-taught.
post about, but like I cut myself really good on the
Yeah, I
syrup.
haven't seen that yet.
It's pretty nasty, but I didn't post the when it happened, but it was like bad enough
Yup.
to where I just covered it. I'm like, okay, that
Mm-hmm.
was kind of bad, and I just like put a
Yup.
band-aid on it. It's been sitting there now. I'm afraid to look
Yeah. You just.
inside here. So
Yup. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too bad.
yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
Good.
The
Good.
blood wasn't gushing out the sides of the band-aid or anything, so I think I'm
Well, that's
okay.
good. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had a few
that's a
cuts
good
where
sign.
band-aids didn't stop anything. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, uh, do you do sponsorships yet? Have you
I
thought of that?
I have a, I have a couple very loose sponsorships right now that probably aren't very well known. I don't have a true system in place yet. I really need to. I've been working on getting a proper sponsorship system implemented, and I do have a couple people on my radar that I really want to bring on board. So
Cool. Yeah, you don't have to throw
yeah,
out names. Just that's cool for people to know that that's
yeah,
an option. I know the community really likes seeing that. It's good for the companies too to
it
kind of
is.
build up
Yep.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, people are always amazed when I explain like, no, there's a whole community. There's like
Hmm.
sponsorship. It's like skateboarding.
Yeah.
Think of it like
Yeah, it is like
skateboarding,
skateboarding.
and they're
Yep.
like, they still don't know what I'm talking about until I really
Hmm.
show them some stuff. And um, uh, uh, is there any flippers or makers that you like a lot that you want to give shout outs to?
Oh yeah, gosh, a lot of them. I mean,
Without,
obviously, what's that?
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm Squid Industries, Grant from Fellowship Blades. Uh, those two in particular, I speak with often. Specifically, Andy, the machinist at Squid. He's an insane machinist.
That's cool. Yeah, the
Um,
people at Squid are great, and Grant is a really great
yep.
person.
Yeah, they're both fantastic. Pyro, I always reach out to him a lot for questions and feedback on design, stuff like that.
Good dude. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to think. I know there's so many, but drawing a blank
That
right
works.
now.
That's perfect. That's great. Yeah. Um, what other hobbies outside of knives do you have? Do you have other hobbies? Is there things you
I
do?
did. I used to before this. Um, my main hobbies used to be back when I was in Northern California. I was really into cars. I had a car that autocross in particular, so I would do autocross, which is like parking lot racing with cones.
What is it?
Autocross. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah, so it's just racing in a parking lot with like a cone track, and you go for time. So it's all about suspension and handling. So
Nice.
I was often working on my car up there. Other than that, a lot of games. I'm a huge gamer. So
Okay.
yep.
What's your favorite game?
Path of Exile and Osu.
Okay. Um, do you have any pets?
I do not not anymore. Yep.
Okay. Um, what is what is like a work day like for you?
A work day. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely I'm a night person, so I usually don't get up until about 9 or 10. So I'll get up, come to the shop. I usually get here between 10:30 and 11, and then I'll be here until on average 8 or 9 at night. And I mean it entails everything. I got to keep my machine running, so it's a lot of loading parts into the machine now that everything is dialed in and running well. Assembly, everything. Yeah.
Then you go home and sleep and do it again.
Pretty much, I'll go home. I have a little bit of time to myself, and then I'll play Path of Exile or play Osu. Or if I'm really tired, I'll just waste my time on YouTube. That happens more often than it should.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Yep.
What about a day off? What's a day off like for you? Are you
A
just
day
worried
off for
about?
me. I mean, yeah, any day off I can get, I'd like to just be in front of my computer. Honestly.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Being home is good. Being home in front of the computer is better.
Nice.
Yep.
Um, what do you think of new makers that are coming up? Do you get a lot of new makers like asking for assistance and opinions and?
So I mean, if anything, I'm that new maker who's been asking for assistance between everyone. And I mean, the community has been fantastic about that. Everyone that I'll talk to and ask for advice or help, they're always willing and open to it. I've had some people reach out to me, but I I don't know of any newer makers right now. I can't think of
I
any
think
right
there's a
now.
lot of young kids that are really like seeing like with 3D printers and things like that are just
Oh yeah, that's true. Yep.
see the success of other knife makers and see the
Yep.
Balisong community growing, and
Oh yeah.
I think the future is going to hold some pretty cool things for sure.
Oh totally. Yep. Yep.
Where do you see the community headed? Do you think that the Balisong community is going to grow in general? Do you think it's going
The
to?
community, I don't see why it won't. I mean, it has a good record so far. It's only trending upwards.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely hope that it continues to grow. I don't see why it won't. People, the larger companies, Squid, BRS, they're definitely helping to push the industry forward more, and I'm hoping I can get to that level at some point to also help push the community forward. But
It's awesome.
yeah,
What's next for you? Any new designs you're working on, or?
right now it's pretty much just focused on the Serif. I do want to have some kind of trainer available for the international market, and other states that have a harder time obtaining live blitz.
Okay.
I really do want to have my products be available to everyone. I just need to get my supply, or yeah, I need to get my supply up significantly, and I'm trying real hard to do that.
So what's your feeling on knife laws? I mean, you didn't leave California because of the knife laws. You left because
I
of
didn't.
rent
Yep.
and for
Yeah,
rent and
I just left because of money, basically.
yeah,
I think they're ridiculous, personally.
yeah.
They probably won't change, which is unfortunate. But I mean, yeah, they're not knives. They are, they're at best a tool, but they're a manipulation toy still. I don't want to use the word toy, but
Yeah.
they're a, yeah.
It's like a skateboard or something, in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Worst cut that you ever had?
Yeah, so I mean, from flipping, nothing all that major. Just some decent nicks that maybe should have gotten like a stitch. But are we talking knife making in particular, or just in general?
I guess it could be from knife making, anything related to a
Yep.
knife or flipping, and your
There we
worst
go.
one.
Okay. Yep.
You mentioned
Yeah.
something to me.
Yeah. Well, my worst one is definitely when I split the middle of my middle finger open on my surface grinding wheel. There's actually still metal dust in there from a Marin blade, so I have a Marin in my finger. But yeah, the tip of my middle finger is still numb. It's been almost a year now, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes assembly a little bit more difficult, which sucks. But
Is that the one you said where the unsharpened blade went in, or is that different?
no, that was something. No, that was totally different. This was actually, think of like just a grinding wheel. Think of like a really fast spinning grinding wheel that just shredded open the tip of your finger, basically. So that's what happened. Yep.
I actually did that to my leg once. I was grinding with a
Yeah.
grinder, and then went down to look and held it down here and grinded into my leg. Yeah,
That's not great.
those are nasty, man. Nasty.
They are not good. Yep. Yep.
Do you like music? Are you a fan of music?
I do. I enjoy music. I'm really bad at remembering the names of the artists that I enjoy. I also don't even know the genre, technically, of what I enjoy, but I just say anything electronic.
Okay.
Yep.
And no pets. Maybe we should get into some, let's see, let me make sure I got everything here. Maybe we should get into some Q&A and let some people ask some questions.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else you're thinking of that you'd like to bring up here.
Nothing pops into mind right now. I'll think of some stuff if I can while I'm trying to read comments.
Do you like Venom, the band?
I have no idea what that is.
Venom's an old metal band, but maybe I'm missing said the Venom song. What do you drink?
I'm not sure.
What do you like?
What do I drink?
Yeah.
Like alcohol-wise?
Sure, whatever.
I don't really drink alcohol. It tastes really bad to me.
Okay.
So typically coffee. I drink coffee all day, every day, all night, all the time. Always coffee and water. More full channel slift tees or Marins. Maybe some full channel slift tees with Marin blades. I kind of don't want to, just because the two that already exist makes it even more special. And he has one of them.
Baby.
Yep. But if anything,
I love
more speed channel.
With the full channel and the Marin blade. This thing flips
that's
so damn good. Oh my god.
That's probably my favorite.
I pick up a normal slift tee and I'm like, I like this more. I just really do.
It is. It's better, I think. That is definitely the best knife I had available until the Seraph.
And I appreciate you because at Blade Show West, I was like, oh, I want to pick up one of your knives. And you were like, you should buy this one.
Yeah, because I knew I had two, and I loved them a lot. So I was like, you should definitely get this one.
And it was a little bit more,
better.
And I was like, hey, if he says get it,
yep.
I think it was like $20 more. And I was like,
yeah, something like that.
Okay, I'll take that one. I didn't even question it. I just grabbed it.
Yep.
What's your opinion on the Haztech? Have you tried that?
I think I got to flip a Haztech at Blade East of last year, but it was very, very briefly. I like the designs visually. I can't really say for flipping or feeling hands. I haven't handled one long enough that I know of. But I've talked to the owner of Haztech a few times. He's a really cool dude so far. So,
do you like dubstep?
Yes, I do. I don't listen to it as much anymore, but that was that was my favorite back when I was in high school. And I still always enjoy a good dubstep track. Dubstep track.
Let's see.
I see Ligma going on. I already know that you got trolled by Ligma.
Yeah, let's do
Yep.
more of that. um, let's see here. If you're reading any of these, you're more than welcome to. No, I'm Slip T Trainer. Let's see. They did. Oh yeah, I use this to flip, and I both have this, and so we're like Slip T Merrim brothers.
Yep.
We both are the ones that are the only ones with it, and we both love it. And I know me, I'm never selling this thing. Maybe it would take like a crazy offer, like something really insane, because I have no plan about selling this. That's how much
That's awesome.
I like it.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Will Slip T Marin be more prioritized than Marin Light? No, probably not. If anything, an aluminum trainer that's available for everyone would be my top priority alongside the Seraph.
Somebody, that's funny. Yeah, I grabbed it at Blade Show. I just did. I don't know. I got lucky. I really didn't even know why. I was just, I just grabbed it. I was like, I'm gonna listen to Deylan and get the one he thinks. Because I was actually holding a different one. I was ready to get. I was like, I like this one. I just went with the color, and you were like, no, check out this one. And I was like, okay. And then later on, once I got it, I realized how special it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Chicken Man, you trying to get me here?
I know it's something. I don't remember what Bofa is though.
Yeah, Bofa.
Bofa these nuts, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, both of these nuts. Yeah, can you fit both of these nuts in your mouth? Is Mike Hunt there?
Yeah, that was a good one. Yep.
Let's see. Machinewise hoodies. Any of those coming up?
I should do swag of some kind. It's something I might look into soon-ish.
I asked him about a new design.
Find some time.
New design anytime, probably not anytime soon, he said.
Yeah, Seraph is going to be around for a while. It's I'll definitely iterate on it and improve upon it over time. But yeah, it's definitely my focus.
Would you ever do a G10 liner Bali? Or liner, G10
probably
liner
not.
Or G10 scales? Maybe.
Either one, probably not. It's too many components. It already takes long enough to make a knife with less parts. Also, G10 is just horrific for your lungs and for the machines and for pretty much everything.
Okay.
There's no plans for a new blade shape yet on the Seraph, but there could be in the future.
Also, if I have a Seraph by Blade, I'll be at the Soet booth. Cool, yeah. Yeah, I'll be selling. Deylan, you're going to still be in Atlanta, though, right? You're going to be hanging around. You're going to be, right? You're still coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm still going. I just booked my B&B today, actually. But yeah, I'll be at the booth for a good portion of it.
My hotel. I haven't got a plane ticket yet. I'm still.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've been looking at one. I just haven't done it yet.
Same. But yeah, so we're going to be all hanging out there. I'm just selling the Machinewise at the Soet booth, but Deylan will be there for autographs.
Yeah, that. And to roam and see everyone else. Yep, you'll probably see me a lot at Squid booth or the Fellowship Blades booth as well.
I'm really looking forward to the Bali comp, all of it, man.
Definitely.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be great.
What else?
Oh, Jimpy, that's a good one. Favorite materials to machine? Titanium. All day, titanium. Love machining titanium. I like it more than aluminum. It's easier to me than aluminum as well, personally, just because I've done a lot of it.
Gonna have any new colors on the Marin Light?
On the Marin Light, it's once I get more volume, then more colors open up to me. Aluminum anodizing it's not expensive, but it's kind of a logistical nightmare. Every time you want to add on a new color, regardless of how many it is, it's a set cost. So if I'm only sending them 20, it could end up being $500 for just 5 different colors on only 20 knives. So
Somebody wants to know if you can explain the process you go through when designing a new knife.
when designing, I wish I could because I don't even know myself. A lot of luck is involved for sure. At least as far as like using the software, I use Fusion 360, that or SolidWorks. But actually designing it, I do the pivots and the tang or the Zen pin geometry first, and then I just design everything else around that. And then it's just a lot of checking weights and weight distribution and all that stuff, and a lot of luck as well.
Are you gonna try any new blade shapes?
Probably not anytime soon for the Seraph. The blade is by far the hardest thing to machine. It took me like 6 or 7 weeks of going insane, working 100 to 120 hours a week trying to get those blades dialed in. So those are going to stay for a while.
Will the Marin
It will
blade
not
fit?
Nope, it is a different platform now. So the Slift T and Marin Light, that was all on like one Marin platform.
Okay.
But the Seraph is its own separate platform now.
Got it. Okay. Chicken Man's cleaning his Marin Light. Opinion on clones.
Nice.
You have any opinions on clones?
How
would you feel if one of yours was cloned?
I mean, clearly I wouldn't be happy about it. There's nothing that I can do if it gets cloned. There's nothing I can do about it. I have no jurisdiction over in China where that all happens. It's definitely a just disgusting business practice, but some can argue that it does lower the cost of entry to help the community grow. So overall, I think it's a very negative thing, but at least there's some positives in it somewhere.
Ravenheart, who's a homie, wanted to know the hardest lesson you've learned so far running your own business.
Oh, gosh. That it's really, hardest lesson.
Like financially, or maybe something that, like dealing with the community is difficult? I don't know.
Yeah, for me personally, it's probably just how do I word it? Doing things for myself instead of being restricted to working with others, I guess, in a way.
Right.
I don't really know how to word that. It's significantly harder than I thought it would be.
Free time, you mean? Free time, or like something like me where you have a shop that I'm wanting
more so like actually making stuff for other people. It's not for me at all. It is extremely stressful and it's not good. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to running a business as is. So.
Yeah, when those anodized showed up at the bronze anodized showed up, you were pretty stressed. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt bad. I was like, okay, but in the end, they just needed to be wiped down and they were fine. I mean, we could explain that to people. Like the bronze one showed up in the mail and kind of looked a little darker than Deylan was hoping. And then I showed him a picture. He's like, what's with that photo? That's not how they're supposed to be. And I'm like, I don't know. And so then I cleaned him off with Windex, but then I didn't do a good job cleaning him with Windex. We were trying to make him look nice. He almost sent me new ones, but then I wiped off everything and got it looking right. And we realized that it was just something happened in the mail, the shipping, or so the 3 bronze ones I have, just so you guys know, they've gone through an extra little level of love to get them looking nice. So whoever ends up with the bronze ones actually should know that those took more time than probably the others, just because there was more concern gone into them to make them look right. Is that accurate, Deylan, would you say?
Mm,
Or how would you describe it?
I'd rather not talk about those.
Okay. All right, sorry. I think they look great, man. I think they look awesome. Any maker you would collab with?
Um, most of them, definitely. Uh, it's just a matter of finding the time. Like, I want to collab with all of them. Realistically, though, I don't have the time to collab with any of them. But definitely Fellowship Blades, and Garrett NRB.
Favorite materials to machine?
Yeah, titanium for sure, all day.
What's your favorite weight to configuration on the Seraph?
I'm currently running no weights. Combination though, either the lighter weights or no weights.
Okay. Would you ever do SM100 handles on a knife?
Do what?
SM100 handles on a knife? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's some kind of fancy material that I don't know about.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is either, to be honest. Let's see. That's good. Do you use any SolidWorks packages in order to
Yeah, so I
model
don't
out?
use SolidWorks here. SolidWorks is too expensive for me. I also prefer Fusion now after using it for a while. But with Fusion, it's everything I need is pretty much built in, which is great. But on the SolidWorks side, in the past at other jobs, we had a CAM plugin. It was the same CAM kernel as Fusion. I think it was called HSM Works. That's a great CAM plugin for SolidWorks.
Any thoughts on doing Damascus or Damascus?
It's something I want to do. It's just a matter of finding the material to do it. The Damascus is easier to find, but trying to find Damascus and bill it large enough is almost always custom. But I have already spoken with several forges, and I just need to pull the trigger and do it.
The bronzes are not blemished, first of all, just so you guys know. You guys are misunderstanding what I'm saying. They're not blemished models. Sorry. I'm going to take a wild guess and say he's this guy. Let's see. How do you get the colors inside the texture lines on the Seraph to be different color from the rest of the anodization?
Yeah, there's a couple ways of doing it. Actually, there's a ton of ways of doing it. The way I do it is you anodize it a higher volt first, and then I throw it in the tumblers, and the tumbling removes all the ano on the upper layers, but the media is too big to get into the grooves. And then it's raw, and I'll ano a lower volt after that. Hey, XK, how you doing?
Do you think other makers should adopt your new system of waitlist? Jesus Christ.
I think makers should do whatever they want.
A good answer.
That's definitely a loaded question.
Yeah. No, that was a great.
There is no perfect system. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Sometimes the community is merciless. They just, it's like, it's tricky to navigate how many people probably want your product. And I mean, we've just had this small drop, and it's like, I've had to tell everybody numerous times, I'm not doing any favors. It's a normal drop.
Yep.
It's just, I can't. Otherwise, I would have nothing to sell.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It would be gone before the drop happens otherwise.
Right. Let's see. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to scoot down. I'm way behind a lot of these comments, so I can't even keep up. So there's a lot. That's a pretty good there. I don't know if we can take some more questions here or kind of wrap this up. I appreciate you taking the time to answer things, and
Yeah, definitely, man.
man, it's been awesome, and I'm really looking forward to the drop tomorrow. I do hope the right people can get these. I really do. I hope
Yep.
these end up
Yep.
in the right people's hands. I've kind of done some safe measures to try and keep people like they can only buy one. They have to give their phone number and email because we've also had some weird
Okay.
things.
Yep. Yep.
So, trying to make sure these end up in the right people's hands. Honestly,
Yep.
I don't make enough on them myself to like not have that happen. It's not like we're making bank, So,
Yep. Yep.
Anyway, yeah. You want to answer anything there you're looking at?
I'm not seeing anything yet. Question: where do you see your store 5 or 10 years down the road for you? I think it's like targeted at you, Paul.
See the store at 5 or 10 years down the road, probably close and
Yep.
do something else. It could be true. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it being like the next Blade HQ. I mean, if it or something like that, I would like to keep it being a really cool Balisong shop and knife shop. But I do see it kind of like this cool shop that sells a lot more Balisongs, and it's like how a
Mhm.
skateboard shop used to be back in the day, where you'd go in and people
Yeah.
would be
Yep.
now working on skateboards, but they're working on Balisongs. And
Which is
there's
really
like
cool.
I've been kind of putting together little sponsorships with, like I like the idea how it's so related, like skateboarding, and I kind of
Yep.
tie that into music as well. So I would love to see it grow more personally. I think that would be super cool and evolve.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
yeah. So the shop, I don't know. I do other things, and the shop is one of them, and I enjoy it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Where do you see your shop evolving to? Do you want to get? Would you like to build big, like have really you bigger space and evolve into a larger
Oh,
company?
totally. Yeah. Absolutely. I want to grow it as far as I absolutely can. I want to build a whole team of skilled craftsmen, and I want to help train them to get there. And I also really want to get machining into the hands of the younger generation. There's definitely not enough young machinists in this industry.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's that'll be interesting to see 10 years down the road. I'm sure you
Yeah,
can do
hopefully I
it.
can get there. We'll see.
Hey man, you're off to an awesome start. Really, people
Thanks.
love your
Thank you.
stuff. So keep doing what you're doing, and whatever you're doing is working. So
Cool. I appreciate it. Thanks.
yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on here and doing this live.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for
I
having me on.
appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys at Blade Show Atlanta next week.
Yep.
I'm going to have Nardath on here, and that's going to be
Nice.
super cool. Nardath is a great flipper that inspired me a lot
Yep.
when I first started flipping.
Awesome.
I think that's what's going to happen if the schedule and everything lines up. And thank you again, Deylan, for hopping on here. And
Yep.
we'll catch you guys all soon. Adios, amigos. Damn right, I got knives. Signing out.
Cool.